Hey, Dave here. Let's talk about USB and vendor-specific ports. I have a lot of pictures of the ports and the connectors for those ports here. And these are some of the ones that you want to know for the A+ exam. Now, why do we use these ports on our devices? Well, first of all, they're used for charging. Charge your smartphone or your tablet or whatever. Synchronization to another system like a PC or a laptop or a MacBook. The moving of files back and forth, transferring files between your mobile device and, say, a PC or laptop. On-the-go functionality, so say your smartphone or your tablet can communicate with a USB flash drive, that type of thing, and act as a host so that it can grab information from other devices. And then, of course, tethering, so that we can share, say, a smartphone's mobile connection, its cellular connection with other computers. And you can do that in a wired fashion. That's USB tethering, and share it off to a PC or a laptop so that they can get to the internet as well. So we have a variety of ports here. The first on the top is mini USB, and mini USB, you're not going to see that often, but it is on the objectives, so you should know what it is. And so here we have the mini USB port, and here we have a mini USB connector. This is type B. There's also type A, which is a little bit more rounded. But again, those are more rare. You'll see those sometimes on older accessories like headsets, that type of thing. More common is the micro USB. In fact, this was used pretty much exclusively by Android devices for about a decade. Here is a micro USB port on a smartphone, and here is a micro USB connector on the end of a cable. And these are also type B and very common. Down here, we have the newer USB-C. Here's the port, and here's the connector. And you'll see those on newer smartphones and other devices. And all these so far are the type that would be used by Android. Right? Android-based stuff. But you also have iOS. Let's not forget about Apple devices, iPads, iPhones, and so on. Now today they use the Lightning connector, and here's an example of that. Older devices use a 30-pin dock connector. So older devices are going to use that 30-pin. Okay? And we're going to talk more about tethering and synchronization and mobile hotspots and stuff like that in other videos. So I just wanted to show these ports real quick, and let's actually take a look at those. Okay, so looking at some actual devices here, and here we have a mini USB, and this is a Cricket, it's a headset. And to charge these, you'd use a connector like this. So we have the port on the headset, on the earpiece, and we have the connector here. And just connect those together. Now with mini USB, quite often on the other end, you'd have an AC adapter, and so that'll connect to the AC outlet. But anything newer than this, and most of the stuff that you'll see today, will end in a USB type A connector, standard connector. So that's mini USB. Over here, we have a micro USB, which was, again, very common for a long time. And that is the port. And here is a micro USB connector. But nowadays, with the newer devices, you'll have USB-C. And that'll look like this here. And here is the USB-C connector. So here's your port, here's your connector. And the cool thing about these is you can plug them in either way, either direction. So that's nice. And there's a lot of other improvements with USB-C compared to micro USB. But as I mentioned, all these other cables, they're going to end in a type A USB connector, standard connector that can connect to any of the AC charger blocks, and virtually every computer out there. And finally, we have the Lightning port on newer iPads and other newer Apple devices. And here is a Lightning connector. Okay. Same type of thing as USB-C. You can plug it in either direction. Other devices out there, older iPads, older devices from Apple, use a wider connection, a 30-pin connection. It's known as a 30-pin dock. So look at the difference there between the two. Definitely a much wider connection. So a couple generations older iPad will have that type of thing. Okay, so there's some of the ports.